Alright, my video froze up. So, part two, I replaced this primer. I don't think I did a video on this yet. But the hand primer, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned, but the primer was installed on the lift pump, which is incorrect. So we moved this up here, and so the correct way, I just finally learned this today because I was having issues with fuel delivery and getting air in the system. So there are no crush gaskets on those two bolts. It just seats in the lift pump itself. And then what I did was pump this, unscrew it, pump it a bunch of times until you start to get fluid out of here. No bubbles is okay, but you want fluid out of here. Then tighten this. Then the next step, I cracked all the injectors loose with this nut right here. And then crank it over. You'll see fuel coming out of here, out of each one of these, once they're purged of air. Tighten them up, and then after that, it should start. Once it starts, get a line on here, on this bleed. This cap is like 20 cents, so if you're ordering parts, you might as well get this cap. Why not? So put a bleeder hose on here once it's running. Crack it open, and then what I did is I just routed it back into the gas tank here. And then you'll see bubbles coming out as the vehicle runs. And then 5 minutes or whatever, you'll eventually stop seeing bubbles coming out of the line. That means the entire system is purged of air, and then you're good to tighten this up, and it should run fine after that. So anytime you replace the fuel filter, do any fuel work, take this off. You got to go through the process of purging the system of air. Because today, unfortunately, I found out the hard way. I was doing some work on the other side of the building, which is probably, I don't know, 500 feet or so away from where it is stored now. And it died. And then the battery died. So I was stuck. And it took me a good hour or two to figure out how to open the bypass on the transmission to safely tow this thing back to the garage, and then it leaked ATF the entire way. That's why this is all wet, because I just cleaned it. But side note, these two 24 millimeter, I think they're 24, yes. These two bolts here, these are the bypass bolts, valves, whatever. If you have to tow this thing, you got to loosen these so it can basically purge itself while you're towing it. So one and then two down there. And then it left a trail of, like I said, trans fluid all the way from the back to the garage. But it's a learning experience. So everything still works now. Luckily, transmission's not blown up or anything stupid. So that worked fine. I towed it very slowly. And then got it back in here and charged the battery up again. And that's it. So I don't know what I'm doing next. I don't think there's anything really left to do other than use it. We got all the filters changed. Air, hydraulic, oil. Gotta check one more thing. Let's give you one more look at that. And then the distance between these two handles are very close. It looks like I have to adjust one of these two just so they're, exactly the same. I'll do that next. But I did want to mention one thing, if I can remember. Oh, the oil. Let me just check, see how this looks. So we're still looking really good. Look at that. That was so black you couldn't even see the dipstick before. So the engine flush was definitely a good thing to do. So hop on Amazon, look for Liqui Moly or one of the highly rated engine flushes, and dump a half a can in here. And yeah, it'll get all those deposits out of the motor. And sounds scammy, but it worked. I mean, the oil's still clean, and it sounds a lot quieter when it's running. So that's it. That is my recommendation. So until next time, until something happens, I think that's all we got on this thing. One look at the wheels again, tires. Lubed up all the points. So I'm just going to use it, and maybe I'll post an update when something else happens. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Later.